Hello from my bed where I have surrendered. I'm lying down, taking a rest. Life's a little weird at my house. Not everyone is feeling well. Just when I thought everyone was well, folks are not feeling well. So we're meeting needs as best as we can. It seems like just for one of my children who has pretty reactive seasonal allergies, was out berry picking all day over the weekend, and it seems like it really took its toll, and he's in overload. But we're doing all right. So that's what's up over here, as well as I have an appointment that historically makes me very anxious. This type of appointment would make me very anxious, or that's how I would experience it. But the reality is that this type of appointment is going to help me. I have a tooth that really needs help and a history of pretty extreme and irrational dental anxiety stemming from an incident that happened when I was a child. So this is coming up during this gnarly astrological forecast that we are in the midst of. This is not a drill. We are in it, okay? This is the thing. Uranus square Saturn, and it's mighty. The potential discomfort is tremendous. And it is a collective experience. So how it might be showing up for you could be a lot different than for me. I'm not saying that this is like people are going to have, not everybody's going to break a tooth, all right? Or that's not the reality. My experience is not going to be your experience. This is something I'm working through. For you, you may be able to recognize what the challenge is. So challenges are coming from Saturn, and Uranus is encouraging, through its disruption, through its ability to destabilize, it's giving us an opportunity to have a different kind of experience. And there's a lot of opportunity here. So what might help you identify when this is going on? And also, please keep in mind that Mercury is still retrograde. And so we've still got miscommunication as sort of like up in the collective energy experience. We are seeing potential technological glitches. You want to make sure before you get upset, or if you get upset with someone thinking they didn't reply to your text or your email, check in, make sure that they received it, or make sure that you that the body of text that you typed into the email really made it there, or just check things before you make assumptions. I think if anything, checking yourself when assumptions are being made and asking clarifying questions when you are assuming sort of misdeeds on someone else's part. It'll be very tempting to just assume, label, and react. That is a temptation. So if you hear yourself saying things like, this always happens to me, I have bad luck with blah, 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 or anything that feels like old, tired, not just tired. You may not realize you're tired of it, but that seems to sort of plague you. It's coming back up here. This is maybe touching on experiences that you had in February, and then also experiences that you had in May, because Mercury has backed up to where it was sometime in May. And so where it was touching on your life, you may be having those experiences again. Here's some advice, some guidance for strategies for how to do well or sort of make the most of this time, because the opportunity I'm speaking of to see things differently, to approach it another way, it's an opportunity for ingenuity. It's an opportunity for making some tremendous progress that would not be available if the upheaval and challenge didn't present itself. So this is potentially a very amazing time for some folks. And I'm actually feeling like for some people, this is really showing up at work, in how you are doing your work. Gemini people embody certain qualities that we need for collective evolution at this time. The qualities of Gemini that we want to be inviting and nurturing and making more of are curiosity, flexibility, and willingness to do something another way. So over intellectualizing, no. Being stuck in our heads all day, no. Not connecting to feelings, no. That's not the Gemini energy we want to be nurturing. We want to be nurturing what I just said. So the angle that Gemini makes to Saturn in Aquarius is called, it's a harmonious angle. Things are working together. We have the north node of the moon in Gemini, we have the sun in Gemini, and we have Mercury in Gemini. So all of this is positive, useful energy that we can turn to get through these times. In addition, we have a harmonious angle being made to the south node of the moon in Sagittarius that is called a sextile. This means we can be using the south node of the moon in Sagittarius is pulling up on unresolved karma and things that we've been through before, but in addition, it's touching on what has worked from before as well. So when we're thinking about doing life right now, consider what has worked for you in the past, really worked for you, not just to temporarily help you put a band-aid on something or feel better to get through a difficult moment, but what really has worked for you. Maybe it's cuddling with rose quartz, like what I'm doing. Maybe that's worked for you. Go ahead and do that. Go ahead and pull from the bag of resources that have served you well and use those. You don't have to change those, right? But where you are experiencing stress and resistance to what doesn't serve you, what really hasn't served you, this is a call to reviewing how capitalism and this current economic system that we all live amongst here in the United States and in the Western worlds, the colonized worlds, how, if some of those pieces are beginning to fall apart, it is creating a tremendous sense of insecurity. If it has to do with the money that you use to pay to get your needs met and or your shelter, right? But if you are okay, if you are stable, all of your needs are met, you are alive and well, I encourage you to really question some of what you think has to be a certain way and make room for the possibility that there are better ways, since we know that life right now isn't working for everyone. It's only really working so abundantly for a select few. And those folks want you to be ride or die to their policies, procedures, and methods, for you to be checking and making sure that your buy-in is still whole. Now, this is maybe sounding kooky, maybe you're not here for it. Turn the video off. But what I encourage you to do is think outside the box. And if you don't take it from me, Uranus is going to do it for me, so it doesn't really matter. You are going to be given an opportunity to think outside the box, and that's what's up. Also, we get some help from Leo energy. We get some help and also a little bit of a hard time from a tense angle that's being made from Leo to one of the planets I mentioned. I don't actually have it in front of me anymore. But the courage of Leo is important here. Being honest with yourself about how you have chosen not to execute. You have chosen not to bring courage to the forefront, but you do have it. It is accessible. Some of y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. You get some help from Venus as well, Venus in Cancer. Being courageous, taking care of ourselves, taking radical accountability for our own well-being, and being honest about the choices that are available to us. Oh, I have to go to work even though I have a headache, is actually I'm unwilling to use a sick day because fill in the blank. or I'm unwilling to take a day off without pay because it is important to me to feed my children, then I know it feels like you have no choice, but the choice is you're being a good provider for your kids. You are choosing to do that. And by being honest about the whole thing, you get credit from you on this work that you're doing. And you deserve all the credit. I'm going to go back to surrendering properly now. Bye-bye.